On the night of August 14th, 1997, at around 2147, the temperature at the meteorological mast above the settlement of Ravens Creek registered 8.2 degrees Celsius and a sustained wind of 12 kilometers per hour. For the next 72 hours, the rain simply would not stop. Every hour registered rainfall. Every night, the streetlights flickered, with water caps sliding down their poles. My name is Robert Hughes, investigative journalist with the Mountain Weather Archive, and I traveled to the forgotten ridge town of Bainbridge Hollow in the Pacific Cascades to piece together the case of a 3-day deluge that no one understands, in an event that local records still mark as the disappearance of the Rain Watchers. In the town archive, I retrieved a file stamped Police Log 1983 to 1998, and at the local station I found an old reel-to-reel tape labeled simply Bainbridge Hollow, station 715.0897. That tape contains conversations, ambient storm recordings, and according to local legend, a voice that should not be there. According to the missing persons ledger at the Bainbridge Hollow Police Department, 8 residents vanished between the 15th and 17th of August without trace. Their names: Lydia Smythe, age 34, Edward Booth, age 42, Maria Dawson, age 19, George Chen, age 66, and 4 others whose files were shredded in 2002. Locals still tell of the sound under the rain, a low vibration, a hum between the down drains and the gutters, something recorded on Station 7's outdoor microphone array. Tonight you'll hear that this is not just weather, it is the night when rain became evidence. Rain ambience increases subtly. I will guide you through the chronology, the arrival of the storm, the town's secret history of flooding and disappearances, and the ambient recordings that changed everything. Sit back, let the rain carry you, and listen to what came with it. I arrived in Bainbridge Hollow at dusk on August 13th, 1997, 2 days before the official deluge began. The town is nestled in a narrow valley of fir and hemlock at 1,200 meters elevation. The population then stood at roughly 1,403 persons, down from 1,512 10 years earlier. Parking by the old motel on Ridge Road, I noticed the air felt damp in a way I'd only felt near glaciers, thick humidity, compressed silence between droplets. The motel owner, Mrs. Margaret Clark, greeted me quietly. She told me the local weather station had logged rain almost every day since June, but what concerned her now was the hush between the drops. That evening, I walked the main street as low clouds crept in. Streetlights reflected off slick asphalt. I recorded ambient sound, the steady patter of water, gutters overflowing, the only human voice, a radio announcer in the background, identifying the next day's forecast as persistent showers. In the local diner, I met Deputy Sheriff Thomas Tom Aldridge. He showed me his station's logbook. August 14th, 0312, report of lights flickering on Anderson Drive. August 14th, 0447, power outage at Station 7. August 15th, 0209. Resident Lydia Smythe called to say, "I hear something in the rain," and then the line went dead. What struck me was how calm Tom seemed. He said, "We've had storms before, but this one, well, it's not the rain that scares us, it's the waiting." On August 14th at 6:23, the downpour began in earnest. I checked into the motel. My room overlooked the old forest ridge. I placed a recorder by the window and listened. Rain drummed the roof. A distant rumble, perhaps thunder, but even that faded quickly. At 7:15, I noted rain intensity, heavy, tinnitus-like hum, faintly audible beneath. That afternoon, I walked to the abandoned ranger station at the valley's end. The path was slick with runoff. I found a former fire watch cabin, its windows boarded. Inside, the logbook ended abruptly on July 29th. Outside, tree trunks had watermarks several meters high. That first night, I slept poorly. At midnight, I awoke. The rain was so loud it sounded like falling pebbles, a fierce hiss across the forest. I turned on my recorder. As I listened back the next morning, I recorded what seemed like faint speech, but I dismissed it at the time as wind in the microphone. The next morning, August 15th, Deputy Aldridge phoned me. "Come down to Station 7. You'll want to hear this." In the Chelsea room, their outdoor monitoring van, I listened to the tape. The outdoor mic recorded 3 hours of rain, and at 4:29 a word, help only faint. Then silence. Then rain resumed its pattern. From that moment, I knew this wasn't simply a weather story. Something had arrived with the rain. Visuals, archival, black-white town images, old newspaper clippings, audio reel-to-reel, rainy abandoned streets. Bainbridge Hollow isn't new to tragedy. In the year 1969, the valley suffered what locals still call the flood of the Razor Ridge. On November 10th that year, a rapid, warm front brought 26 inches of rain over 48 hours. 5 houses were swept from their foundations. 3 teenagers disappeared from the Boy Scout camp at McAdams Creek. Official records state 2 of the boys drowned. The 3rd body was never found. I located a microfilm archive at the county library in Fairwood. The Fairwood Sentinel headline for November 12th read, "Valley's Blood Red River leaves new mark on Hollow." On page 4, searchers comb the ridge for missing youths. The rain-swollen creek now runs on former campsite. Though the files are faded, the pattern is clear. Heavy rain, then disappearance, then silence in the missing persons files. More recently, in 1983, a regional weather station recorded an anomalous acoustic hum during flooding events. I obtained a transcript from the National Oceanic Acoustic Archive. 0847. Continuous frequency at 27 hertz detected via lakebed hydrophone. Event lasted 2 hours 35 minutes. The log cost me an FOIA request. The archive summary: unexplained acoustic source correlated with high rainfall and missing person incidents in Western Cascades region. At the town museum, curator Elena Rodriguez pointed me to the old forest ranger photographs, blank stares and rain-soaked clearings, picnic tables covered in moss, the camp's fire ring cracked with neglect. She whispered, "The valley holds memories of the storm and some voices." I returned to Station 7's logbooks. At 15 August 1993, entry 0304. Outdoor mic recorded speech-like pattern at 29 hertz under heavy rain. At the 15th of August 1997, my storm, the same pattern resurfaces. The repetition is chilling. That night I reviewed my own audio. From 4:29 to 4:32, I heard a faint melody, like singing through water. Then words, "Find me." I played it back to Aldridge. He said, "You're the first outside the department to hear that." We thought we were losing it. 2 local residents volunteered statements. Mrs. Clark said, "My husband heard the tapping on the front window at 2:17. He looked outside, nothing, just dark. Next morning we found footprints through the rainwater, leading to the field, but the prints vanished." Mr. Dawes, former power station worker, said, "The transformer shut down at 3:59. I saw the lights dim, then a shape by the fence. I couldn't see a face, just the rain pooling around it. I walked the field at dawn. The ground was saturated, puddles mirrored the gray sky. My recorder captured again that low hum, 27:30. as they played the loop at 0.25 times speed. Rain washed across the sensor, then a soft hiss and a voice. The word, help only a whisper, but distinct. I asked Tom Aldridge, "Can you rule out wind noise, mic artifact?" He answered, "Yes." We ran calibration tests. The indicator showed 28.97 hertz and stayed there for 37 seconds. The rain noise floor is normally around 34 to 40 hertz in this valley at this level. This one dipped, stayed flat. Later that same day, I walked the edge of the valley floor, following the runoff channels, recorder in hand. The rain filtered through the cedar canopy, each drop a drum beat. At one small hollow, I stopped. The recorder caught a pattern, not melodic, but rhythmic. My blood went cold when I heard it back. 28.97 hertz again, in a repeating pulse, then the same whisper. "Find me." I returned to the motel room. The rain outside sounded relentless. I got the tape and compared it to the archive from 1969. On the old reel labeled Flood Ridge, November 10th, 1969, the waveform hit 29.04 hertz for 2 hours 35 minutes. The missing teenage boy's file recorded his last words. "It's under the water." Sitting alone, I asked, "What is under the water?" The recorder sat on the nightstand, rain pattering the window. I listened again. The whisper. "Stay with us." I forced myself not to rewind it again. Locals had long memories here. Mrs. Clark told me about her husband hearing tapping at the front window at 2:17 during the 1993 rain event. He looked outside. Nothing but dark. Next morning, they found footprints in the rainwater, leading away from the house, then vanishing at the tree line. Mr. Dawes described a transformer failure at 3:59 on the same night. He looked up, saw a figure by the fence, motionless, rain pouring down its shoulders, face unseen. The power cut, the figure vanished. He said, "Because of the rain, no one believed me." I analyzed the audio in the motel. A spectrogram showed a near-perfect sine at 28.97 hertz. Beneath it, in the 100 hertz band, a human voice barely above the noise floor. I called it the hum voice event. That night, the rain intensified. The gutters overflowed. A power surge knocked out lights at 1:32. I listened on headphones into the dark. The walls of the room pulsed faintly. I swear the recorder blinked even when set to idle. In the early hours of August 17th, I left the motel to walk toward the floodplain. The road was slick, water pooling beneath the street lamps. In the hollow near the riverbank, I heard a muffled thump. Rain obscured everything. I stopped. The microphone caught my footsteps. The rain, then a low growl beneath the hum. I don't know if I imagined it, but I recorded it. Back in the van, replaying the clip. 3 seconds of silence, then the hum at 28.97 hertz, then a voice. "I'm here." I realized I was no longer simply observing a storm. I was part of it. At noon on August 17th, I was handed a sealed envelope by Deputy Aldridge, a reel labeled 1969 Flood Ridge. Audio 11, October. Inside the station vault at Bainbridge Hollow Police Department, the envelope was stored under Special Files Closed Cases. I locked myself in a motel room that afternoon, rain relentless outside. I played the reel. The first 20 minutes. Rain, wind, flicker of thunder. Then at 2:18, a siren from the Boy Scout camp at McAdams Creek. The weather log records a rapid rise in temperature and water levels. At 2:47, there is a long moment of silence, then a faint chorus of voices. "Help us. Under the water." Layered beneath a low hum around 29.04 hertz. My notebook. 0247 voice begins. 0312 creek burst. 0324 equipment fails. 3:59 recording ends. I compared that to my own recording from August 16th, 1997 at 4:29, same hum, same pattern. The missing persons ledger, 3 teenagers from that camp vanished that night. 2 bodies found, 1 never recovered. I contacted an acoustic forensics expert, Dr. Irene Huang. She examined the 1969 tape and confirmed the hum is consistent with waterborne vibration of 29 plus or minus 0.07 hertz with a human voice spectral overlay. She said, "We've seen hydrodynamic vibrations, but never with speech." I asked the town's chief archivist, Ms. Elena Rodriguez, about the special files. She revealed, "We kept it quiet because people asked questions we couldn't answer." After 1997, it was locked away. She showed me the original police log. 11th October 1969, 0409 Camp Alert, 0427 Creek Burst, 0503 Search Launched. Names: Ronald Hayes, 17, Scott Miller, 16, David Walker, 14. Walker's body not located. I played the tape again. I heard rainfall, then wind, then the hum creeping into 29.04 hertz. The voices become clearer, multiple, overlapping. "Get out, don't wait under the water." The floodplain that night was a sheet of moving water, trees uprooted, camp cabins gone. The same valley where I stood now, the same humidity, the same drip under the windows. That evening I went to the floodplain again. My flashlight cut across the overflowing creek. I walked the edges of the search zone from 1969. Fallen branches, stones displaced, still telling a story in the dark. I recorded again, the hum, the drop tones, then in the headphones a soft knock 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 against the railing behind me. I turned, nothing visible. The rain's volume masked everything. In the motel, I placed the 1969 reel side by side with my August 16th, 1997 recording. Both began with rain, both registered hum events at nearly identical frequency and duration, both accompanied by missing persons. The pattern was undeniable. I asked, what connects water, sound, and disappearance? The arches of the report pointed to one answer. The valley is a conduit, a channel for water, yes, but also for something else. The rain might simply be covering it up. As I prepared to leave Bainbridge Hollow that night, the rain shifted. Heavy gusts, windows rattled. I packed the recorder. At 23:11, I heard another voice on my device, faint yet urgent. "They come with the rain." I stopped listening. The tape loop ended. I realized then I could not leave, because the rain didn't leave, and neither did the recordings. Flashlight beams cutting through heavy rain, police searchlights over flooded forest, camera abandoned in mud, blurred figure in mist. On the night of August 17th, 1997, the rainfall reached its highest recorded level, 74 millimeters in 6 hours. The county emergency line logged 31 calls. The last voice on record came from Deputy Alridge's radio at 2:17 a.m. I was still in my motel room when the signal came through the scanner. "Unit 2 to base, we've lost contact with Robert Hughes, last seen heading toward the floodplain, recorder active." That was me. My note's in there, but the remaining account is pieced together from evidence recovered by the county search unit. At 1:58, the rain intensified. The floodplain road collapsed near the east culvert. My camera tripod was later found 200 meters from that point, half submerged. Station 7's last automatic transmission, timestamp 0211, low frequency pulse 29 hertz, duration 47 seconds matching previous hum events. The monitoring van logged, unidentified human speech overlapping rain pattern. The next record is a call from Deputy Aldridge. Signals back, just static and low tone. Search teams found the outdoor mic destroyed by water. The van's logbook ends with one handwritten line. "The water is talking again." According to the police report, the flood receded by dawn. By then, 8 residents were missing. My name was temporarily included on that list until my notebook was discovered near the ridge overlook. Wrapped in plastic, pages soaked. The final entry reads, 2:09 a.m., standing by creek, hum constant. Voice, stay with us. Rain rising. No further entries. Witness statements collected in the following days vary. One resident claimed she saw a light moving through the trees at 2:20 a.m., heading toward McAdams Creek. Another said she heard someone calling from the river, but couldn't tell the direction. The official search lasted 10 days. All missing persons, including Lydia Smythe and Edward Booth, were declared deceased, bodies unrecovered. When the rain finally stopped on August 20th, the valley floor was a wasteland of silt and broken timber. Deputy Alridge's patrol car was found half buried under debris, keys still in ignition, radio hissing with background tone, 28.97 hertz. An unmarked audio cassette was discovered inside the car's glove compartment. On it, 12 minutes of rain and a whisper repeating 3 times, "It's under the water." I was later told by the recovery team that the recording equipment from my motel room was still powered when they found it. LED blinking red, rain dripping through the ceiling. The tape had captured 3 knocks at 2:17 a.m., then silence, then the same hum that had haunted this valley for 30 years. Visuals, laboratory waveform screens, forensic examiners in dim rooms, close-ups of water droplets on old tapes, drone over flooded plain, fade to. Quiet town today. Months later, back in Seattle, I reconstructed the events of Bainbridge Hollow from the evidence sent by the State Archive. The tapes, still damp, were analyzed in a sound lab at the University of Washington. Dr. Irene Huang led the review. Her report, dated December 12, 1997, reads, "Spectral consistency observed across 3 distinct recording decades, 1969, 1983, 1997. Identical low-frequency resonance at 28.97 plus or minus 0.05 hertz. Human phoneme patterns overlaying hydrodynamic vibration. Possible geological resonance unknown." We mapped the valley's topography and found that the floodplain forms a concave acoustic chamber. The bedrock beneath McAdams Creek is basalt, dense enough to conduct low-frequency waves like a speaker. In theory, heavy rain could excite that layer, but it does not explain the speech. On January 8, 1998, an independent analysis by NOAA confirmed no known atmospheric source for the 29 Hz tone. Their final note, unidentified environmental resonance. Potential anthropogenic interference cannot be ruled out, but interference from what? Dr. Huang replayed the combined samples in sequence 1969, 1983, 1997, and the voice alignment became clear. Each decade, the words form a sentence. Help me find. Me stay with us. The pattern matches the years of major rainfall peaks every 14 years, and every 14 years, someone vanishes. The county classified the Bainbridge Hollow case as meteorological anomaly. Files were sealed. Station 7 was decommissioned in 1999. Today, only foundations remain where the monitoring van once stood. I visited again in 2007. The rain began as I arrived. A new weather mast had been erected by the highway, sensors blinking red through fog. I turned on my recorder. For the first few minutes, only rain. Then faintly beneath the hiss, "Welcome back." I shut the recorder off. I kept walking. The town is mostly empty now, population 52. The old motel collapsed under snow in 2011. Mrs. Clark moved away. The diner's gone. Yet the creek still hums on rainy nights, and fishermen claim the water vibrates beneath their boots. The State Archive retains my recordings, cataloged as case number A2197. Access is restricted. If you visit Bainbridge Hollow today, you'll find a single sign by the roadside, "Danger Flood Zone." No entry during storm conditions. When the first drop hits the windshield, you'll hear it the same steady pattern, slow, rhythmic, like breathing underwater. And if you stop the engine, roll down the window and listen long enough, you might hear the rest of the sentence. Visuals. Abandoned town under drizzle, slow pan across empty streets, lights flickering, then fade to dark forest and rain fade out. It has been 28 years since that storm. The valley has changed names twice. The old road signs rusted away. The rain still falls. Every year, the sensors at McAdams Creek record faint pressure fluctuations at 29 hertz, identical to those logged decades ago. Some say it's geology. Others whisper it's memory. What I know is this. When you listen closely, rain is never just water. It carries the weight of every voice lost beneath it. This is the story of Bainbridge Hollow, a storm that never ended. Rain fades slowly to silence. Scream fades to black. If you made it through the storm tonight, stay close. Subscribe before the next rain begins.